Hello, I'm Sabine,
And I'm Savani.
and we are the co-founders of Hidden Compass. Today, writer Robin Catalano is joining us for Behind the Byline, where we introduce you to the talented storytellers from each issue of our magazine. Thank you for joining us, Robin.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. So, Race Against Tide, Robin's feature, appears in our Quest department. This story gives us glimpses of ancient worlds preserved in the fossils of the coast of New Brunswick. But each day, the same tides that reveal hundreds of millions of years of history may erase them forever.
So excited to talk about this story with you, Robin. You are fascinated by fossils, and you have been for a while. So tell us about what drew you to fossils as a kid and how you came to write this story.
I think the whole genesis of my fascination with buried things or things that are underneath. My dad had a collection of National Geographic back in the 1970s when I was a little kid. And I remember very clearly, I even can see it in my mind to this day, a cover that featured the shipwreck of the Hamilton, which is sunk in Lake Ontario. It was a schooner that was sunk during the War of 1812, although it was actually a storm and not the war itself. But just the image of that boat underwater, covered with, different mussels and, all sorts of sea creatures, seeing the figurehead on the front so clearly of the Greek goddess Diana. I have remembered that cover forever, and that really kind of kicked me off on this path to wanting to discover things that have been somewhat lost to history.
Mm-hmm. And it's been wonderful to follow along on this particular journey of yours. I love being able to tap into childhood fascinations later on in my life as a journalist, and you certainly did that with this story. And I want to talk about this kind of story. You know, the media world doesn't always make space for articles like this. You're a writer who often goes for long form, nuanced, nerdy stories. Why do you think stories like these matter?
Well, I think nerds matter, so I'm going to start there. But I think storytelling is sort of the common thread that connects people, and it doesn't really matter what culture you come from. It doesn't matter what part of the world you're in, and it doesn't matter if it's an oral tradition, something passed down through generations, or a modern day TV show. We are all seeking connection, a sense of belonging, being part of something maybe that's bigger than ourselves, or feeling like other people are going through something similar. So I think stories really fulfill an important role, and sometimes it's the entertainment value, right? It takes you out of your life for whatever length of time. It could be 10 minutes, it could be an hour, but just to kind of make you feel a little bit more immersed in something other than just the mundanities of your daily life.
I love that. And that is a big part of why we love these kinds of stories at Hidden Compass and how important we feel they are. And we know our readers do too. So if you're out there watching this and you haven't already, go check out Robin's story. And this is sort of where I also tell you a little bit about what makes Hidden Compass different and our patronage model, which is really neat. So we pay all of our writers, but when you go read a story, you will see the opportunity to make a contribution to a patronage campaign. And that's your chance to show us and to tell Robin how much you value this story. So if you read it, make a contribution to the campaign, share the story if you enjoy it. And we split the proceeds of those campaigns 50-50 with the writers. So they will get that on top of their base pay. And Robin, what would you like to say to anyone who has already contributed to your campaign?
Well, I think first of all, thank you, fellow nerds, for coming along with me. I see you. And I just want to say thank you in general. Journalism is kind of in a precarious place right now, especially when we talk about long form. A lot of what is online is driven by SEO. And, I'm not going to throw shade on anybody's business model, but I feel like these stories are not shared as much as they should be. And, just to know that there are readers out there who support the research time, the amount of effort that goes into telling these kinds of stories, it's really encouraging for somebody like me.
Well, it's been such a pleasure to work with you on this story, Robin, and a pleasure to talk to you today. So thank you for joining us.
Thanks again. I really appreciate it.
And thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.